Marseille, when Norway were twice late on to win 2-1. Mind you, Brazil were already through at that time. It was a group game. This, well, the stakes are very, very high indeed. The word in the Brazilian media was confident but a little cautious. They know exactly how Haaland could punish them if there are any errors at the back. It's moved twice. It's come from behind. So far, including an epic win they had over Japan, almost with the last kick of the game, scored by Gabriel Martinelli, who gets a starting place as a result of that today. No Paquetá, he's got a muscle injury and misses this game. That's quite an important miss because he's been very good as the playmaker.
I'll be right back for her.
Big on to its Sørloth. Normally a centre forward, but always deployed by Norway out on that right-hand side because they've got another chap who's quite good in the middle.
Okay, so interesting early. Norway coming after Brazil. I didn't know what to expect, but pressing high in an early turnover here. Showing their intent right away, Ian, that they're not coming to sit back.
Fantastic scene looking around the stadium. I'd say the yellow shirts are outnumbering the red shirts by about 5-1. But the Norway fans have been one of the stories of this World Cup. That Viking ship has rowed all the way to the Hudson now. Pearson back in the side, having been injured in the second match of the tournament. He must have wondered if that was his World Cup over. It isn't. He's back here. He could be an important supplier of crosses later on in the game. All pretty congested over there. Here's Bruno Guimaraes. Haaland got a hit to it, though. Pearson to lay it inside. Ødegaard to bring it on. And Sørloth to take it forward. Chance it for Norway. Cut back. Wonderful opportunity. And goal. For Norway. And Brazil are rocked. What an incredible start.
Well, it looks just offside, Ian. Was waiting to see, and the flag went up late. Celebrations will be subdued once the Norwegian fans realize here it's clearly off. But they have targeted that right side with Sørloth very often and almost got the goal there.
Such an anticlimax for these Norway fans. Patrick Berg's goal.
Offside,
His 48th cap as well. He doesn't count. The flag is up. The decision is confirmed. And Brazil are off the hook. Here's Haaland v Gabriel. Part 1. There will be plenty of other chapters to write in that one today.
So important for that goal. Sometimes goals get scored by, we call Norway an underdog. And you say, okay, but it was a bit lucky or something happened and the goal got called off, so we feel okay. That was a splitting pass into Ødegaard, who turned and faced forward. Sørloth was gone. And you just start to feel already, Ian, that could be a problem for Brazil tonight. And Douglas Santos needs to be really careful.
He's got a big job in that left back role. The player recalled after 9 years out of the team by Ancelotti. Winners, remember, go into the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Sørloth looking to cause more damage on that right-hand side. Is Ryerson. The captain Ødegaard has been part of this Norway team since he was 15. Now Nusa scored a great goal in the last game against the Ivory Coast. Norway have started very confidently. Sørloth again. They've had a corner. Yeah, and you said before the game, while we were listening for the outcomes, that one or two of the Norway players looked a little nervous about the occasion, but I guess adrenaline's a great thing. You're nothing without it, are you?
Yeah, actually, Erling Haaland looks very kind of calm, smiling, which he usually does. And now I'm starting to think, I think they were just prepared and calm and ready for this. They have come out really ready for this.
There's the corner kick. Which is going to have to be retaken. Big assignment.
Corner kicks will be retaken.
Martin referee Ismail Alfan today. Born in Casablanca and went to the US when he was 18 years old. 6 World Cup game for him. That's run dangerously in Brazil. Happy to pack it away. And they'll expect to grow into the game, as we've seen once or twice from them before. And Martinelli gets his first involvement. Here's Vinicius. Sanderberger quickly across.
So Belgium's going to be
The regain
playing
possession
now
for the Norwegians.
for USA tomorrow night.
Ødegaard.
So I'm glad that they did something
Quite a few
about it.
weeks for him after winning the title. Beaten on penalties in the Champions League final. Here he is in a big, big game at the World Cup too. It's Hegem playing it back to the goalkeeper Nilan. Mustafa Aya, who plays for Brentford in the English Premier League. Marquinhos for Brazil. Duran, teenager getting a run in the side because of the Rafinha injury, but Rafinha is available to come on. We don't know how many minutes he might have in his legs after the injury, hamstring. They've got to have him around again anyway. Here's Rayan again. Bruno Guimaraes cuts it back. Best yet from Brazil. Martinelli. Guimaraes on the ball again. He's got 4 assists already in this World Cup. The Brazilian number 8. And here's the number 7, Vinicius Junior. You look like they didn't know how to play. Yeah, did.
David Santos does a good job making a penetrating run through the middle. Leaves Vinny Jr. by himself out here. Poor Reevison going to have to deal with this a lot tonight. Just went over the end line, but perhaps a sign of things to come.
Is Berg coming up on Fox Mexico against England in the cauldron in Mexico City, but it's the Azteca that's coming up after our game on Fox. Every game from here on in.
We will be
is in
live from
Mexico
Mexico
at this
and
World Cup.
England
You won't
at
want to
8
miss a
p.m.
thing. Berger, who plays for Fulham in the English Premier League. They come up towards Nusa. He's dropped by Rayan, who keeps possession. Bruno Guimaraes with a lovely through ball. Martinelli to Cunha. Oh, that might be a penalty. The referee's not giving it at the moment. Well, there's a huge, huge talking point.
Well, this looks like a penalty, Ian. The only thing might be, did Cunha go down too
See if
early?
that's okay.
I mean, it's
That might be a penalty.
clear foul.
Left done that. In you come.
Even though the defender might get a slight touch on the ball, this is a clear penalty. It takes his man out, Cunha. So therefore, without playing the ball cleanly, this is going to be a penalty. What the referee might do is there might be a foul in the build-up to the goal. So there was a tackle made by
They're going to be checking the
his opponent.
penalty.
I'm just checking to see if there's a potential foul in the build-up, and the VAR will check this.
That might be the only reprieve. What a big decision for the American official here. I thought he was going to give it, but he didn't. Not on field. And there is that other issue that Mark Klamberg has addressed. Was there some other offence before all that which would negate any discussion? Well, it's going to be reviewed.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the contact here, Ian, is a penalty. And even just watching it happen live, you could see Ayer thinking he was going to get the ball. It wasn't a moment where he would pull back, and I think inevitably this would be a
Let's
penalty.
see.
Ayer on Cunha. Yeah.
Penalty.
It's a penalty. It is a penalty. And I don't think there's very much debate about it.
Right. So Brazil would get a penalty kick.
Here's what Mark was talking about. Was there a foul there? You know, if he had made the call on the field, maybe, but this is a clear penalty.
Vinicius Junior hovering over the spot. 11 of the 14 penalties so far have been scored.
And Ian Clarence Seedorf is here in the booth with us, and right when it happened, he said clear penalty, so that's why I knew it was a penalty.
He'd know. It's going to be Bruno Guimaraes to take it.
Right.
Big chance here for Brazil.
Here we go.
Right, an early blow.
Kicks in. Save! He saved it!
Turning away to his left. Well, there's a turn up for the book.
We all looked at each other, Ian, and said,
Wow.
Junior not taking it.
What a save by Norway.
I'm not sure why, obviously, but wow, what a big moment. And Nealon was all over it.
Well, an escape for both sides in the opening stages. That offside call ruling out the Patrick Berg goal at one end. And then, well, much, much worse, Brazil fluffing a penalty kick. What next? 35-year-old goalkeeper who struggles to get a game for Sevilla in La Liga with a huge moment in his career. A penalty save on a stage like this. He's Norway's
Wow.
oldest World Cup player, Ørjan Nyland, and he did
I don't
this.
think I.
Ian, this has happened over and over in this tournament. Everybody now, it seems like, stutters before they get there and slows their run down. And ultimately, the goalkeepers kind of know it. And you generate less power when you do that, And that if you guess the right
Maybe
way,
you
as
go
Nealon
with the
did, you're
scoreboard.
going to save it.
Maybe push the scoreboard.
Wasn't a great penalty, frankly, by the Newcastle United man.
I'm
Sorry
shocked,
about that.
that he didn't take that.
Yeah, truly shocked. Me too. You wonder what the reasons could have been. Still got a smile on his face.
There we go.
Graham
Scoreboard's up now.
skipped away from Belfort pretty easily and tries his lucky to come up with 5 Premier League goals since joining Bournemouth in January.
What?
I was just thinking, doesn't matter how hot it is, Carlo Ancelotti always turns up in a suit, waistcoat, very smart shirt.
And he's never, ever sweating. I don't know how he does it.
Brazil's golden oldies are here as well. For another 24 years since they won the World Cup, so there were just a few players around in this squad who weren't even born when that last happened. The year when Ronaldo was the big star, winning the Golden Boot. Shahid is feeling the most relieved man in this stadium at the moment. Hagan to bring it away here.
Happy with that for
Now Odegaard.
What's interesting too, I think if Ismail Alfat had given the penalty, he might have booked him as well. Because he didn't, he doesn't get the booking, which is really important for him.
Musa. It's Berger again. Here's Rearson. Right up there with the leading assist makers in Europe's top 5 leagues this past season. It's been extraordinary, really. Brazil breaking up the play, can counter here. They've got a 3 against 3 at the moment. Martinelli wide, a bit too wide maybe for
He's
Vinicius.
there on the attack.
Off the outside of the boot, he's no good with those kind of crosses.
Norway with the possession.
Bird, the midfield player who thought he was on the score sheet, plays for Budo Glimt, the team from the Arctic Circle. Kind of like the Arctic Circle against the Amazon here, isn't it?
I'm not sure who this favors more. The game's become very open already. I think as it goes on, it is hot here. Could become more so. On one hand, you have Vinny, Mateus Cunha, Ryan, and you have Erling Haaland. And you don't want to play Erling Haaland and Odegaard with half of the field to defend. So as a neutral, we hope if this continues.
Cunha wanted a 1-2 with Casemiro. Into the gap. Cunha just wanted that pass delaying a split second as he made a good run.
I'll be live for USA in
Cunha's 3
Belgium
goals so
tomorrow
far
night.
for Brazil in this tournament. Vinicius has 4. Mbappe and Messi leading the way with 7 apiece. And then, well, it is a great subplot, a race for the Golden Boot, but it is a subplot. Odegaard. Erling Haaland has hardly touched the ball so far. But we've said that a lot of times in his career, and the next thing he's done is put the ball in the back of the net. Just waiting for the chance. Norway's only defeat here so far at the World Cup, 4-1 against France, but they made 10 changes that day. They knew they were already through, so you could probably put a line through that bit of form. Still kept it in play. Ødegaard again. Very much the director of operations in that Norwegian midfield, of course. Give me the ball, he says, and they do. They always do. Once again, Ødegaard. On the right, Ryerson once more. Lost possession for Norway. Where can they take it? They know all the time that one errant pass, well, they're knocking it around like this, and Brazil will be pouncing for a quick counter, as we recently saw. How did your kickabout this morning go down in Hoboken?
That was fun. It's too hot though.
What did the locals think when you turned up for a random game?
Well, they didn't know at first, and they asked if I would play. So I'm not very good, but I'll do my best. And then at some point, one of them said, "Hold on." It's fun though.
I think you missed a couple of chances, actually.
I always do.
It's Wolfer for Norway. Nusa. And you know about the danger he can provide as well from that left-hand side. The Leipzig wingers had some rave reviews going into this World Cup, and by and large, he's kind of underlined the point here. One player they have to watch here with these free kicks is Alexander Sørloth. He's really good in the air, given half a chance with a header.
Erling Haaland's all right as well.
Yeah, not too bad. So that's two, isn't it? And Ira will come forward as well from the back. Musa. Oh, how about that? See you later moment from him. Ryerson. Now Berg. Now they've lost the ball again. And this could be danger. Cunha. He might go alone here, you know. Cunha. He appeals to the referee, but he's not going to get it. Wolfer did enough.
Well, excellent defending by Wolfer in the end. It almost feels like Brazil are just trying to bait Norway into this. And they know if pick off one pass or win one tackle, 2v2 or 3v3. And I don't think the Brazilian fans are happy about it because they're watching their team defend for a long time. But pretty clearly, that is a big advantage for Brazil. It feels like it's only a matter of time until they score if that continues.
They have to be so careful, the Norwegians, in being caught out like that. It's happened twice now in the last, 5-10 minutes. Ryerson to the head inside Ødegaard. Lost possession. Not much punch at the moment from Norway. By the way, Bruno Guimaraes, the first Brazilian to miss a World Cup penalty since Zico against France way back in 1986. And there will be a debate about their choice of taker.
Well, Vinny's taken two for Brazil. He missed one and made one it just feels he's the star of the team, and I was expecting him to grab the ball and say, "This is mine," and bury it.
Still not able to control it. Is Marquinhos, winner of the last 2 Champions League titles, of course, with Paris Saint-Germain. They kept him nice and fresh. They hardly played him in the league this last season. Danilo wide. Is the 19-year-old Rea. Musa. Another of those slow and runs Casemiro to break it up. It's the match break now, sponsored by Lenovo. And the big talking point so far in this game has been the missed penalty by Bruno Guimaraes. Like this big save from Oyan Milan. What's on the next reel here?
This message is for anyone chasing a dream. People that I have around me, they got a lot of love for me, they give me so much support. That's what you live for, knowing that you're there for each other, through whatever you need to be. I'm here because of my belief. Not just that I could do it, but that I didn't have to do it alone. It took my village.
There's been incident here in this game, and no goals so far. The winners of this one going to the quarterfinal to play Mexico or England. We meet later on. Allison's calm, had to get there, and he did. The quarterfinal will be in Miami on Saturday. But who'll be there? And who's getting a plane home? Spread right down Casemiro. Bit of comeback concert for him this last season. Casemiro. A lot of people had kind of written him off. Is Haaland involved? Look how quickly they're on the case every time he gets the ball. But he kept it all right, but then Norway did give it away. Cunha. Vinicius. Bruno Guimaraes. Ryan. Vinicius. It's Brazil who are carrying the threat, isn't it, Landon?
They're more dangerous. Norway has all the ball, but Brazil in those moments where they counter, very dangerous. Till now, though, Norway have defended it well.
Ryan.
Until on the attack,
Danilo with a loose ball. It was a loose ball by him that gave Japan their goal the other day. Sanu ran a long way and then dispatched it into the net. Something similar may be going on here because it's Nusa towards Odegaard. Odegaard again. Into the side netting. I think some of the Norwegian fans at the other end of the stadium thought that might have gone in. Unhappily for them, it didn't, but that all came from a loose pass by Danilo.
This time it was Norway countering. Sorloth carried the ball as far as he could. Always wanted to get it to that man, Martin Odegaard. Came inside, played Nusa, fell back to him. Little dribbling, ultimately dragged it wide. But those are good moments for Norway as well, with Sorloth, Holland, and Odegaard. They're happy to play in a counterattack as well.
Cunha was speaking to the ball by Nusa. And Sorloth against Sorloth of Atletico Madrid. So this manager wearing an Argentina shirt, as he used to as a player. Diego Simeone, never had that memorable Argentina game against Cape Verde, who have flown home to a hero's welcome, well deserved, even from the guys who work at the airport. Great to see. And as Stu Holden said, they deserve our thanks for everything they brought to this World Cup. Nusa to place it. Haaland with a little flick. Catching practice for Alisson as it turned out. But you could see Haaland's idea.
It's amazing. He just never has to touch the ball to feel comfortable in the match. This is so clever. He hits that a little higher. It's got top spin on it. You can see that nestling into the far post.
I was thinking the other day, the winner he got against the Ivory Coast, even when he mishits the ball, he goes in. I think he was kind of looking to just kind of control that and put it in, but bounced off him and into the net. Look in the newspaper, as they say. He's the goal scorer. Volfa to break that up for Norway. Berger's picked up a little bit of a knock there. Presumably the play will be brought back for a free kick.
See the high boot here by Martinelli. It just catches him.
Yep, just a free kick. Coming up the bank Bank of America half-time show. Thierry Slapped with Rebecca. So 4 over this first half here. Norway started very, very strongly. Had the ball in the net. Sørloth. Luckily for them, didn't count. He's Ødegaard, who's touched the ball far more surely than any other player on the pitch in this first half. Isa. Moraes. Now Casemiro. Just waiting, trying to pull the Norwegian defence out of shape here. Casemiro trying his luck. Egan got in the way of that one. Casemiro on the score sheet in the last game against Japan with a far post header. He scored a stack of headers over this past season for Manchester United. Looks like he's on his way to play for Inter Miami. Vinicius. Good work that by Rierson. Ødegaard missed out there. Vinicius here. Big save again from Milan.
Well, you just can't turn the ball over against this Brazilian side, and Ødegaard here gets a little too clever. Vinny picks him off, rolls it by Rierson. Very good save by Nealon there with his right knee.
Another attack is coming. This time it's Brazil's turn to give the ball away, but Norway have been caught out now 2 or 3 times with the loose passes. They've got away with it so far. But they're playing with fire, aren't they?
They are. It's hard to know whether Stone Sobak and their coach will be happy with how this is going or not, because all the possession has been really good, and it's kept them, as we see the chance again here in the save, it's kept them from having to defend for long stretches against Brazil. But they haven't created big chances other than the goal that was called back. And alternatively, Brazil have created some big chances in transition. So they need to be careful, but the possession is actually helpful for them. They just can't have careless giveaways.
James Corden and the After Hours gang will be on at Fox tonight for another nightly wrap of the World Cup action at midnight local. It's a fun show, well worth catching. Haaland here. Good covering by his old adversary, Gabriel. Was there a little verbal exchange between them there? Maybe, maybe not. Haaland is a father of a baby son now. Norway won the ball back well. Nusa. Haaland. Ødegaard. Blocked by Danilo.
And this was the first big moment where Erling Haaland had the ball isolated, faced up. In the end, I think he makes a good decision there to play in Ødegaard. Can't get it out of his feet, but does get Norway a corner where they can be very dangerous.
Closing stages of the first half here in New Jersey. not the best corner. It needed some kind of near post flick on, but there was nobody really there to do that.
It's a really poor corner kicking.
Yeah.
Big missed opportunity. You can't leave that short. And if you do, you need someone running across the near post to flick it on. That's just a waste.
Not that many people fancied Brazil going into this World Cup. They were fifth in the South American qualifying. Cunha got a second back the cherry there from Hagen. And the brakes on here for Surlot. He's not going to beat Douglas Santos with pace. He can't do that. He's not a speedy winger, but he is experienced. It's got a feeling with this game that it's kind of bubbling under, as the old disc jockeys used to say. You probably never heard of that phrase, have you, Landon?
No, I do. I have.
Bubbling under the Billboard Top 100 or something.
It does feel like there's a goal coming. And you just saw the first moment where Erling Haaland got to face forward. You cannot give him too many chances like that. Brazil on the other side are just waiting for the right pass or the right final play to score the goal too.
And both teams looking at the staging post at half time, aren't they? Just at the moment. Only looking to get further than they've ever been in the World Cup. This is their fourth attempt. Haaland. Some good work there. Here's Berger, underpassing a lot of the ball in that midfield. Just a bit of a shortage of end product for Norway.
Jane Brunson in the house.
They have 4 more minutes
The
until
New York Knicks.
stop.
Do you know anything about that, even?
The New York Knicks, Madison Square Garden, yeah. Everybody's going crazy about that around here.
You went to a Dodger game too.
I did.
Full on America.
Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed it too. Against the Padres. Haaland, I'm told, has had 10 touches so far. He averages a goal every 14 touches at the World Cup.
So 4 more and he'll score a goal. All right.
If only it was that easy. Norway corner. 6 minutes of added time in the first half. Played deep. Surlot went for it. Didn't quite get through with the header. And could there be another Brazilian break? No, not like that. This is one from
Yes, no, Tom Crosby.
frankly.
He is
Not
live.
beaten, but trusted by Solbakken
On
as his
St.
first
Jude's,
left
go
back.
donate if you want. If not, then
And
it's
it's
okay.
one team who were relegated by miles as well from the Premier League. They'll be playing in the Championship next season. They've got quite a lot of players at this World Cup.
So interesting subplot starting to happen here, and the Brazilian fans are starting to get frustrated. They're not used to their team having to defend for long stretches like this, and especially against an opponent I'm sure they feel is inferior to them. Now, Carlo Ancelotti might be happy with it, but players are human, and as you start to feel the crowd a little bit restless, you start to press a little bit more. Either leave yourself exposed or it can help you.
Haaland against Gabriel again. Still on here. Maybe something in the dark. And this time it's Allison. But there's an opening for the Norwegians, and the skipper
Saved by
didn't
Brazil.
make it count.
Great
Really
save.
good work from the Liverpool goalkeeper.
So exactly what I said, Ian. Vinny Jr. started to press Nealon there, and he said, okay, we'll just go direct to that guy. Gets tangled up. A great tackle by Marquinhos in the end to prevent Holland, but falls to Odegaard, and he will absolutely want that one back. Allison just guessed a little bit down to his left and did enough to keep it out.
I think it's a great point you raised about the tactics, Brandon. Brazil's DNA still, I think, is adventurous football. Always has been, always will be. The fans kind of demand it. And if counter-attacking gets the job done and they win the World Cup, I think they quite happily forget it. Fair to say Ancelotti generally knows what he's doing. Bruno Guimaraes here. Deflected on its route.
Nice save by Norway.
Back in
Brazil
again.
still on the attack.
Well,
No
Just
good
too
for
high.
Brazil. Goal kick coming up for Norway.
Martinelli was the player closing in on it. Was he onside?
Yeah,
Anyway,
he was. Christopher Ayer is absolutely livid with Rierson here. And Rierson looks back at him and said, well, what do you want me to do? Vinny Jr. is standing out there on my back shoulder. So you take one or the other. That's a big chance for Brazil. And here again, see the physicality of Erling Haaland. Odegaard can't believe this didn't squeak by Allison.
big chance. Goes begging for the Norwegians. Really talented side who put paid to Italy in the qualification process. Italy had to play a playoff in the end, and that didn't work out either for them. Be good to see them back in the World Cup someday soon.
Sorla has been really good for Norway today. Anytime they've had pressure, he's become their outlet. They can just play to him. He's been pinning Douglas Santos.
Long ball in. Gabriel let it
Saved by Brazil.
fly with Odegaard waiting behind. Brazil want to take it quickly, they do. Vinicius up against Ayer. Does have this priceless ability to go past players. I didn't like that at all. He thought Vinicius was going through an amateur dramatics routine. Gave him a piece of his mind, I fancy Landon there.
Yeah, tug on the jersey there. You could understand if Elfab called it. Not a ton in it. You can understand why he feels aggrieved.
And that is the half-time whistle that has blown here.
Goal kick
Goalless
for
for
Norway.
Brazil, missing a penalty kick. Norway had chances as well. Evenly
Norway
poised,
is half-time.
drama may
Right,
be still
it's
to come.
half-time.
We'll check in with Rebecca Lowe in Los Angeles after our break. See you soon.
Today's match is sponsored by Christopher Nolan's new film, The Odyssey, July 17th, rated R.
There's watching the world's best. And then there's experiencing the world at its best with Platinum. Kick off your journey in the quiet comfort of the largest global airport lounge network. Lose yourself at incredible destination with the largest curated global hotel program. And leave with a memory that lasts long after you return.
I'll be right back.
For a life like no other, you need a call.
Should be almost back soon.
Big call by him. An early call as well. Maybe those two can get behind the Brazilian fullbacks and get to the byline. Well, at least.
I asked you at half which manager would be happier, and I guess that would tell me that Sobak is not happy with something.
Hold on, guys.
This attack of Norway. Moldova. Just to check on the teams coming through at the bottom of your picture. No changes at all for Brazil. We have been playing largely on the counter, but they have carried the greater threat, it has to be said. Martinelli in that slightly unfamiliar central role that Ancelotti seems to like to see him. He's usually an out-and-out left winger when he is used by Arsenal, which isn't all the time. Here's Vinicius Junior. Brazil, of course. I'm sure you don't need the identification in their famous yellow and blue with the white socks. Ryan, well defended by Hegem. A hero to Norway, no doubt about it. Their goalkeeper, Ojan Milan, our oldest ever World Cup player at 35. He did have spells with Aston Villa, Norwich, Bournemouth, and Reading in England. Looks a little bit bemused. The flag goes up. Into the hand, wasn't it? Oh, anyway.
Just trying to work through here, Ian, and figure out why the substitutions, assuming neither of them are injured. Sorloth was doing such a good job on this right side for Norway, just pinning Danilo Dos Santos. They were able to get out of pressure anytime they were under. They could just ping it to him. He would hold it, and they could get out of pressure.
Here's Oscar Bob's first involvement on this right-hand side. Gets a little reminder and welcome to the game from Douglas Santos.
I'm sure they'll both score now that I've said that, but it's just very interesting.
It's the coaches who have to make the big calls. Some even work. Here's Aya. All the towns and cities in Norway, this game kicked off at 10 o'clock at night, Norwegian time. All the kids stayed up. It's still light. It's light all the time.
I was going to say, it's years ago now.
Yeah, maybe hard to see those big screens in Oslo and Stavanger and Bergen and Trondheim. And all places north into the Arctic Circle.
Norway on the attack.
Berg with a good piece of work. And thinks, why not? But he found, wow, I think beyond Rosie.
It's been so easy throughout the afternoon for Norway to get into these attacking positions. The Brazilian front four in particular, not putting the requisite effort to defend them, so they've done a good job picking them apart. Ultimately, the final product has lacked, but again, very easy for Norway to get into the attacking third.
Miscue really by Casemiro. Berg one ahead of Berg. Didn't do a lot of work in the midfield. He's become a starter at this World Cup. He's kind of forced his way in. Odegaard again. Big chance for him in the first half. Now Bob. He's come back from a broken leg in recent times in his career. Bit early to be talking about it, but here's something. Norway have never, ever taken part in a penalty shootout.
Going for Brazil.
Solbakken been changed for 5.5 years now. His playing career ended when he had a heart attack on the training ground and was revived on the scene during his time at Copenhagen. So it's great he's gone on to have the career he has. Oscar Bob. Again, tight spaces, a bit too tight in the end. So happy to sit in and look for quick breaks because they've got the kind of players who can affect those quick breaks. There's one of them, Ryan, on the ball now. High press going on from the Norwegians. They've got it back again as well. Brazil are having to spend an awful lot of time without the ball in this game.
And that will absolutely wear you out on a day like today, Ian. Maybe not in the first 45, 50, 55 minutes, but as you get deeper into the match, absolutely it will. Carlo Ancelotti has a lot of options on the bench that he can bring in, especially attacking options if these guys tire. But Norway, a very mature performance so far. And then the question for them is, with all this possession and the ease with which they're getting into the Brazilian attacking third, how much risk do they want to take in pushing numbers forward, knowing that Brazil are happy to sit in a little bit and counter?
The danger for Norway is being caught by a sucker punch. So I think the battle lines are drawn here.
And no matter what Brazil might have thought this game was going to look like when it started, the reality is Norway had pushed them back and deep into their own end. And so they don't have a choice but to defend. And again, that front four is not accustomed to defending and running and sprinting and chasing. So moments like this, it's very easy for Norway to receive it and face forward.
Volfa here with the cross, nobody on that near post at all. Need to make better use of that, and Megan likewise, really, with the careless ball into touch from the Bologna defender. There's so much expectation always with Brazil. Sheldon taking the place of Musa for this second half. Yeah, it is one of those counters from the Brazilians. Vinicius. Well, it's a brilliant piece of play. Gets to the byline. Can he finish it? No. It's got a kick in the end. It did come off Vinicius last. Or is that going to change?
Well, this is really good from the referee, Ismail Alpha. You see the ease with which Vinny drives by these defenders. This ball comes off the defender, then hits Vinny, but he's out of bounds already.
Yeah.
And I think the referee should actually lean on the side of giving a corner because you are allowed to then give a goal kick if it was wrong.
Volley kick for
Yeah,
Brazil.
knew what had happened, and the smile on his face for Vinicius, they're both for you. Corner's right, I've got it right. Looking to live near post flick on, didn't quite work out. In the last game, Brazil had 39 crosses in the end against Japan. It was the most ever in any Brazil World Cup game since Italian 90. But it worked, didn't it?
Yeah, it was one of the things I was going to bring up. Now, they're not losing. They were losing in the Japan game, and that was how they realized that they were going to create chances. But I'm a little surprised they haven't taken more of that approach today. Norway, of course, a more physically imposing team than Japan, but I just thought that might be something that they would consider.
Scan the QR code on the screen to vote for the Michelob Ultra Superior Player of the Match. That may well be yet to be decided. It's goalless, but it's intriguing. Norway thought they had a good team. I think we're seeing they have got a good team. Odegaard again. Oscar Bob. A little bit of movement. Shelder up. Norway have the ball back again.
Ian, what's interesting, Norway do have a good team, and what differentiates them, here's Chris Rock, Woody Harrelson, what differentiates them from some of the other good teams, Japan a good team, Cape Verde a good team, Erling Haaland changes everything because you have a guy who can make a goal out of nothing. And when you have that, it really does scare teams. Cape Verde and Japan, yes, a little bit scary, but better teams are able to play more aggressive against them. With Erling Haaland on the field, you just cannot switch off for 1 second or it's in the back of your net.
Landon, just watching Chris Rock there, kind of made me hungry. They seem to have a feast there, didn't they?
It's a good lad. No doubt about that.
They come here for the Norwegians, and they turn all this possession into something on the score sheet. Brazil quite frequently with everybody behind the ball. Half-time substitute, Sjagerop. Brazil change on the way. Hendrick is going to be introduced as he was against Japan, and Cunha looks at him. They'll be making go. I can confirm that is the case. So the young striker of whom such big things were expected hasn't quite happened in his career so far, but it still might.
It's a relatively quiet day for Matheus Cunha, but he, of course, drew the penalty that should be the difference right now in the match. Hendrick came in their Japan game, played centrally through the middle. And that's what he'll do here as well, I would assume.
Julian Rierson. Rudiger into the reverse. Or Brazil break it up, and straight away they're thinking transition, break. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Hendrick first involvement in the game. It's out, he's messed it up. Oh, what an interruption that might have been. The young Hendrick. But he fluffed his lines.
Well, another turnover by Norway. Thinks that it's so good for Vinny. Cuts inside. Look at this little delicate pass outside of the right boot. He's waiting for Hendrick to just move it to his right foot and slot it home. He was so adamant about getting it on his left. And in the end, it became a much more difficult chance. Nealon does a good job spreading himself. It has to be a goal. Big miss.
Huge opportunity. That's what Brazil have been waiting for all this time. This is the game that they're going to play. And they've had chances doing it. Well, apart from a penalty, none bigger than that.
And Ian, I know there are millions of kids watching at home too, including my own kids. I always tell them you need to work on your weaker foot. The best in the world, even Lionel Messi is the best left foot arguably of all time. He scores a lot of goals with his right foot too. And he was so reluctant and reticent to get it on his right foot, which would have made the difference. And it could mean the difference between Brazil going on or going home.
How costly might that be? Gabriel, lower red shirt supporting this attack. Here's Oscar Bob. Went into a yellow wall in the end. Coming up on Fox, Mexico against England from Mexico City. That will be quite something. Coming up after our game on Fox. Some talk of changing the kickoff time. That isn't going to happen. Hendrick.
Vinny Jr. just looked up with his arms up and said, what are you doing? I'm standing here 1v1, but you have to like the endeavor.
I remember when Vinicius first got in the Real Madrid team, one or two players, Benzema, became public, but kind of wasn't very happy with how raw he was and almost was advising the other players not to give him the ball. So he had a tough start at Real Madrid, and of course it changed pretty dramatically in the end. Brazil corner kick.
Right, but there with the corner.
Milan got a good punch to it. Well done by Douglas Santos. Oh, that moved in the back. Milan made another good save. He really had to change direction there. It looked like that anyway.
Yeah, I think he saw it late. It looked like it deflected. We'll get another look at it. It really had a lot to do there. Either deflected or just couldn't see it. Brazil starting to turn on the pressure a little bit now.
Yeah, just coming out of that shadow. Vinicius. Last year seemed like he wasn't there. Those two did face each other in the Champions League final a couple of years back. Casemiro to the back post, and Bruno Guimaraes denied again by a brilliant piece of work. Flag was up though. Flag was up. Wouldn't have counted, but the goalie didn't know that.
Well, it's an excellent save in the end. It didn't matter. Casemiro just waits a second too long. He wants to hit first time, and he waits. That just allowed them to stray offside. What a save this is.
Bruno Guimaraes, look at that. From Oyan Milan.
And here's the earlier chance. Yeah, just a little deflection. Does a good job keeping his focus. Now sub for Norway here.
He's playing a stormer, this Norwegian goalkeeper, including a penalty save. Eliasson, who's just come back from injury, goes off, and on comes Frederick Auschness of Benfica to take his place in the right back position. I think that's just because probably Eliasson only had about an hour in his legs after his injury.
Well, Vinny Jr. also starting to come to life too, so you need some fresh legs there.
The other thing to think about here is, when does Rafinha come on? If at all. Maybe he's got a quarter of an hour or something like that. That could change things. Auschness towards Haaland.
Well, importantly, and you said it before the game, Paquetá is not dressed for the match, meaning he has no chance of playing, obviously. And we weren't sure with Rafinha, but clearly if he's on the bench, then he's eligible to be used. So we may see him.
It's a big test, isn't it, for Auschness coming into the team and having to mark Vinicius Jr. That's not an ordinary kind of job.
Nor is it a fun job.
Probably not, no. Auschness wasn't selected for 2.5 years until earlier this month. Last month, I should say. Got ready for this World Cup. Now Berg. Away for White. Schelderup.
I think at some point, Schelderup and or Oscar Bob should take a chance and clip some balls into the box. Erling Haaland is playing 1v1 with Gabriel.
Schelderup's ball in. Oh, he nearly dropped for Haaland. You could see his frustration there. Just a little deflection took it away from him.
Yeah, and right on cue here. Just a dangerous little ball into the area. Alisson gets his hand on it. Nearly falls to the waiting Erling Haaland. And both of them glad to see that go out for a corner kick.
Could have bounced anywhere, that one, really. It is a Norwegian corner. Tension rising here in New Jersey. Near things, no goals, not yet. Schneider up again. Bob. Getting plenty of success for Schroeder up on that side. Much involved since he came on. Bob with a nice little turn. Crossing to goal. Oh, couldn't quite reach it. Inches in that.
No good for Holland.
Oscar Bob does a great job just letting the ball roll across him, slides it in for Iyer. And what a ball this is from your center back. Outside of the right boot. To a diving Erling Haaland. Stretch just can't get there.
Whoa. It's a rueful smile, I'd say, from Haaland. Martinelli is off. Neymar being introduced. Ryan comes off as well. And Danilo Santos into the midfield. Neymar, who's never played beyond the quarter-final in his 3 World Cups before this. Big reception for him, of course. He's only played 14 minutes in the tournament so far. Match break sponsored by Lenovo and Brazil with chances.
Well, we have a
Particularly
match
this one
break.
by Hendrick, but it's
I'll be
nice
right
for the
back,
moment.
guys.
For the
Hold on.
moment,
I play golf with guys on Friday and Saturday, and all of a sudden they're all experts on soccer.
Right.
I think it's football brain working overtime. Vinicius.
The back.
Laid off Bruno Guimaraes. Danilo. Blocked by Volfa. Now Casemiro. Just one mistake or one moment of inspiration could tilt this one. Bob. Got Auschness to his outside, goes the other way, asked a bit of Odegaard. He kept it alive though. Shelder up, cutting inside. And Allison had to be sharp to keep it away.
This is so good from Erling Haaland. We don't see it yet, but as the ball comes up to him, he just uses his body so well against Gabriel. It falls down to Norway in the midfield. They end up creating a big chance there for Sheldon.
The save from Allison, whose father and grandfather were goalkeepers as well. Looks like the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Odegaard. At times he's run the game in that midfield today. Christopher Meyer. Shabrockson quite a lot of the ball. Volfa. Marquinhos is in the right place as he so often is. Inside the last quarter of an hour of this, quite a tussle for that place in the quarterfinals. Norway have never played a bigger game than this in their history. I'm sure all their fans watching will be proud to see how their team are performing against the might of Brazil. Would have been unthinkable in days gone by, for sure. Now, this is a special generation they've got. No question, Carlo Ancelotti paying them full respect here. Truth to tell, Landon, both coaches will be quite happy to get through anyhow, anyway.
Yeah, just ask Argentina.
Yeah. Sometimes has to be like that. At the World Cup, it's a long old campaign with an extra round, of course, this time. You've got to get through 8 matches and go all the way. With this drop here to Haaland. I'm going to work on Danilo. You can see the alarm bells ringing every time Haaland gets anywhere near the ball. Ederson, who was a late addition to the squad after the injury to Wesley that ruled him out. Looks like he's going to come on. An Atalanta player who, as we read, is on his way to Manchester United. That's the latest idea from Ancelotti. Bruno Guimaraes. This is the moment he would love back again to have another go at that one. Having a good World Cup though, that aside.
Yeah, fantastic World Cup, but sadly this is what will be remembered if Brazil are not able to prevail today.
Well, there's always an inquest every time Brazil go out of a World Cup. It might be a very deep inquest about the way they've gone about it here, playing on the counter, which is kind of against their natural instincts. And it's the way they've chosen to attack the job. Shelder up, It's been busy since gone. Oh, scores! Lead! Shining!
And it's a goal for Norway. Holland Holland. 1-0 Norway.
It was inevitable. Erling Haaland yet again scoring for the 14th consecutive competitive game for his country.
I have to see Steve's reaction.
Well, Ian, he says, who cares if I don't touch the ball much in the game? Give me one chance. Just like Harry Kane. Shocking defending from Hendrick. Just gets to glide by him. Gabriel watching the ball. Erling Haaland cuts in front of him. Schildrup knows where to put it. And as we know, when it lands there on that man's head, there's only one outcome. 1-0 Norway.
Even when that ball was in the air on its way, you knew what was about to happen, and it did. He's only touched the ball 21 times. He's scored. Football royalty, Erling Haaland. Is that the goal that is going to knock Brazil out of the World Cup? What have they got now?
You said it, Ian, they're playing with fire, and just felt in the last few minutes that Norway were turning it on a bit. And over in this knockout round so far, the 32s, now the 16s, the team that has applied themselves and tried to go make the game and win the game has more often than not been rewarded. Brazil just sort of sleepwalking through the game at times, and Norway made them pay for it.
Ancelotti in his career has been a lucky general. It hasn't happened by luck, of course, but it's often seen that way. Needs something now. Brazil, is it going to happen again to them? Not up the last 5 World Cups by European teams. Here's another one. They trail with the clock now into the last 10 minutes of normal time. Thousands and thousands and thousands of Brazil fans here all around their home country with those worried faces, unless his team can come up with something pretty quick.
Was there with the corner.
Well, this could just overshadow a part of the quadrant, so I had to move it. Neymar with a corner kick in.
Nothing, mate. Nothing but the corner kick.
It's going to be another corner.
You know,
It's another corner kick for Brazil.
just not really defending while wanting to defend. Hendrick just throws his leg at Schildrup, has no interest in defending. And ultimately, it leads to the assist that leads to the goal.
Here's the next corner kick. And they've come back before in this World Cup. Haaland back helping out his defence as well, as he will have to do. Here's Neymar. Can he do it one more time? Neymar, can he roll back the years? Vinicius.
So by Norway. Norway's going up the field on the attack.
Bob again. And now they've got support up for the attack with Patrick Berg. And they just weren't happy to play Keith ball here. Let the clock run down. It's up to Brazil to go and get that ball They can't just sit back now. Casemiro is an exasperated signal to one of his teammates.
I was going to say, Ian, Norway have to be careful not to just sit and defend for these last 10 minutes or so. This is really good from them. Anytime they can kill 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, really help them get over the finish line.
Norway have scored and conceded in all four of their World Cup games so far. If they can mend the conceded column, they're going through to the quarterfinals. James Corden and his team will be on at Fox with their fun show tonight. Another night we wrap up the World Cup action. And we'll be side at midnight local. And they might have quite a bit to discuss from this game. It's no fun for Brazil at the moment. Oh, that bouncing tackle.
Saved by Norway.
Could have been a free goal. And that was another
Brazil
magnificent save.
still on the attack
In the
now.
end. Oh, my word. You don't know how that stayed out. Here comes the cross. Higher gets it away. Vinicius delayed inside. Casemiro.
Oh,
There's
that's
a throw.
no good for Brazil.
I can't believe what I just saw twice in a row. Here's the later chance. Casemiro just has to play this along the ground, Ian. If he does, it's a tap-in for Neymar.
Yeah.
You see the late boot there. Hit Nealon, and he's down. With the earlier chance, just deflects so awkwardly. Doesn't know a lot about it. Look how quickly he gets his feet set.
Wow.
Fingertip off the post and stays out. Incredible.
He has been
Took the
a
goal is
hero
okay for
today. Boyan
Norway.
Nealon, the 35-year-old goalkeeper. Haaland's name will get the headlines, but this fellow has been out of this world today. What a save. He looked like he was beaten all ends up by that. And then what was it? The last nail on the last finger onto the post.
Good thing he didn't get a manicure this week.
It's Berg. Full of running in that midfield. The Bodo Glimt man today looked after the football so well in the main. For one or two counters, had so much of the ball. And Brazil have got to get that ball and start doing something with it pretty fast now, as the clock could be counting them out at this World Cup. Bob, Odegaard again. Corner to Norway, and there'll be no hurry to take it either. He conducts the Viking orchestra behind that goal. They're starting to dream, those fans. They wonder if they might even be back here in 2 weeks' time for the final. Well, just imagine. Lovely get on with this here. Should be anyway. Is Ausnes and Maya. The shoving match between Haaland and Gabriel, but basically those two have kind of behaved themselves today. They might have even swapped the odd word of banter, who knows? Don't think they'll be on each other's Christmas card list though, somehow. Neymar. Vinicius. Could he be the man for Brazil? Goal kick is the decision. Everybody takes another look and their watches. Is the long, long wait to reclaim the World Cup crown going to go on for Brazil? There it is again, the astonishing save from Oya Milan. Sheldrack's been brilliant since it came on. Haaland, he wants another one. Extraordinary. Just phenomenal.
Holland with another goal. 2-0 Norway.
Brazil now surely going home. He can't help it, can he? He just can't help scoring.
It is such a joy to watch this man work in. Clicks the touch, gets it out of his feet. Gabriel slightly opens his legs. It's the only opening he needs. So it's Danilo there. Low, hard, on the ground, skipping past the helpless Alisson. Another massive moment for that man. Norway surely going through now.
Touch 26 for Haaland, keeping up his average of 13 touches per goal. He's now level with Mbappe and Messi in the race for the Golden Boot. Casemiro's face tells the story. It's everything they feared in their worst nightmares, especially Gabriel here, that Haaland would undo them. It's what the Brazilian media were worried about. And the nightmare has become reality for them. But what about this from Norway? I can only imagine the scenes in the City Hall Square in Oslo, where thousands upon thousands of Norwegians. It's nearly midnight there. I don't think they're going to bed tonight, you know.
And see ISO speed reaction.
The teams were really compassionate. Volta to keep it in play. Surely too much for Brazil to do here. 2-0 down as late as this. Henrik, that chance he missed looks massive now. It did at the time. Vinicius. No way through for Danilo Santos. Haaland. And Berg, who's had a brilliant game in that midfield, really has. It's one of the reasons Bodo Glimt had that big, deep run in the Champions League. And very much there. Lynchford, all his family, died for the club as well. They call him the royal family at Bodo Glimt. Sometimes in football, you can hardly believe what you're watching. And I think this game comes into that category a little bit.
I'll tell you though, Ian, if you close your eyes and didn't know who was wearing what jersey, I would say Norway absolutely have deserved this today. This is not a fluke. It's not an accident, not a mistake. All in all, they've been the better team. Yes, they gave away the penalty. It was a bad moment. A big chance by Hendrik, of course. But by and large, they've been as good, if not better, than Brazil today.
Before this, Norway had only lost 2 in 20 matches. Guess what? Haaland didn't play 1 minute in either of those two.
And for all the talk about his goal scoring, you said it, Ian, he is a winner. He does all the little things he does to keep possession really matter. And he's been excellent in that way. Of course, the goals get the headlines, as they should. But he's done so many little things to help his team win.
His record with Norway now reads 54 matches, 62 goals. It's insane, isn't it? And at this World Cup, he now has 7 in 4 appearances. Who can stop Erling Haaland? Pretty good question.
I'm not sure anybody.
But it's the next job for either Mexico or England. Whoever wins that game coming up next on Fox. On this remarkable day. Schindler up attacking that one. He set up the first goal. He's been a live wire since coming on. Tremendous performance and a great decision, we'd have to say, by the coach. Norway are winning the biggest game they've ever played. Quite simple. Ødegaard, he's been magnificent too. Sanderberger puts the face of goal. Now we're looking to rub it in with a third. It's fair to say they've out-footballed Brazil here. Ancelotti, his magic hasn't worked this time, and there's going to be a massive inquest, I think, into the way they went about this game, trying to play on the counter. It's backfired.
So Norway.
Well, we saw it with the Netherlands as well. And just very bizarre for Brazil to play this way. It's not the Brazil we're accustomed to seeing. Yes, Ancelotti's a little more pragmatic than most, but this is not the way we're accustomed to watching a Brazil side play. And as I said earlier, the teams that have endeavor and try to go win the game have been rewarded for the most part in these knockout rounds. You also heard me say early on, Ian, that all this possession for Norway might wear out Brazil, and they just look completely exhausted. They can't get around the ball. This is helping Norway kill off this game where you've had the energy, could still go chase the game, but they just can't get around the ball right now.
It is one of the oldest.
And then they left to go.
Norway
up 2-0.
An argument going on with Ødegaard. He won't care. I think he'll just smile to himself. We're 2-0 up here in this massive World Cup game. He's as cool as anything, usually, Martin Ødegaard. Brazil are ruffled. Of course they are. You understand, but there's absolutely no point in people losing their grip completely and picking up some kind of suspension. The referees sorted it all out now. Neymar did pick up that yellow just now, by the way, to confirm that.
Neymar Jr. with the yellow card.
First yellow of the game, by the way. That's quite remarkable in itself. Well, we're going to get the whistle pretty soon now. We're past the 7 minutes that are being added on. And Norway, well, it's pretty much an armchair ride for them now. Begum with the latest clearance. Clean sheet as well by the look of things. And Brazil, frankly, on the day, just have not been good enough. The glitter of past years has faded. They hoped Carlo Ancelotti would be the man to do it. Not so, not this time, for the great coach. What's he pointing to the penalty spot here?
Yeah, I think there's an elbow here from Ødegaard who came on amongst all that. As he jumps for the ball, I think he leads with his arm. It looks pretty clear from here. It's incidental. I don't think he needs to do it, but nevertheless, he does elbow.
It's Ødegaard, substitute. He was loose with the elbow. And Brazil are going to have a penalty kick. Let's bring in Mark Clattenburg here.
I think this brings in a tactically very, very soft. If you watch the defender, he's got his focus on the ball, his eyes on the ball, and both players come together. I'm not sure where he can put his arm. It actually hits his opponent's shoulder, and that's why the arm goes into his face. I think this is very, very soft. I'm not sure it'll get overturned by the VAR.
I don't think
because
that's
it's not
a
a
foul,
clear
though.
error from the referee on the field of play.
Casemiro, I'm with you. That is on the soft side.
It's one of those, though, Ian and Mark.
It's a PK kick
Happens in the middle
for
of the field,
Brazil.
he's probably going to call a foul. So it begs the question then, should you call it if it's in the penalty area? Because I think he would call that if it was in the middle of the field.
We're now going up to the 100th minute. And the time added on. Neymar it is. With the penalty kick. And quite a lot to say by the look of it to Milan before he takes it. Goalkeeper saved one penalty today.
Neymar Jr. taking the penalty kick. Kick in. And it's a goal. Brazil down to the one.
Checks away to Milan about what I have absolutely no idea. The goalkeeper's been brilliant. It's 2-1. But how much more time can the referee add on?
A good penalty in the end. That stutter step again. It's Milan leaning the other way and rolls it into the empty net. Question is now, is there enough time for one more chance for Brazil?
Well, it's a lifeline. But it's a very, very late lifeline. Neymar's first Brazilian goal since 2023 in a win over Bolivia. Now, how much more is going to be added on here? That's, I think, what Odegaard wants to know. Big decision by Ismail Alfat, the American referee. And Norway will expect the final whistle to blow here. The referee wants the kickoff taken again here.
Not sure what happened there. The frustration for Brazil should not be at the referee. It should be at how they played today. Taking it out on him, which I understand, but it's their own undoing today.
Well, it's a one last chance. This would be the greatest of great escapes. If Brazil could do it, Casemiro plays it in. Milan holds onto the ball. Will stay down. He can't stay down long. I mean, allowed to hold on to it for 8 seconds, remember. He doesn't want to make that mistake. Ducks it downfield. Towards Haaland. And the referee just blows for full time.
And it's a final. Norway are moving on. Brazil gets eliminated.
Brazil are knocked out again by the European team. The 5 times champions are going home. Norway's incredible run continues. Erling Haaland with both of their goals. Only a late consolation for Brazil. What a story here. If they can make it here, they can make it anywhere perhaps. It's Norway on their way into the last 8. Let's send it back to Rebecca Lowe in Los Angeles.
Thank you, T and Dark and to Landon Donovan. What a smile he has, Erling Haaland. The biggest day in his nation's history. And the first ever World Cup
Alright guys, I'm gonna get on that too. I will be live for Mexico and England tonight. So,
with his family
come by.
in tears. Thierry, sum out if you
I will
can.
be live for that.
The story will be for me. Norway won when Brazil lost.
I see you all at 8
To
p.m.
get the game, to get the win.
Please
I
like,
have to say,
subscribe, and
when
see
they
you all
needed
at
their
8.
goalkeeper, he appeared.
Peace.
When they needed them defenders, they appeared. When they needed their midfielders, they appeared. When they needed Allen, he appeared. When they needed a guy to come and